If the Bengals don't get an extension done with Jessie Bates, what players could they look to extend before the start of the 2022 season? Hi again, everybody, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because, well, we have a ton planned here on CBT. It is the off season. We know that. Training camp less than a month away. And by the way, training camp dates for fans, 12 practices are going to be open, and I listed all of them at allbengals.com, so you can check that out. I hope to see you there. Obviously, say hi if you do end up attending training camp during one of those 12 dates. We will be there throughout the process and covering it for you right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And we got some good things in the works for the 2022 season. That being said, it's pretty clear, right? At least to me, that and you never say never, but there's probably not going to be a Jessie Bates extension coming down the pipeline between now and July 15th, which is the deadline. He's going to make $12.91 million on the franchise tag. It just feels like this is where it's heading. I don't think I'm breaking any news to you right now saying that. But if that's where it's heading, and the Bengals, well, they have cap space now, and they have some guys that it would make sense to try to extend them now instead of later, at least on paper. And the first one is Jonah Williams. The Bengals left tackle played in 16 games last year, didn't play in Week 18 against the Browns because the Bengals were resting their starters before the playoffs, played in all 4 postseason games. And so he played 20 games, and despite only playing in 10 matchups due to injuries in his first 2 NFL seasons, I think flashed plenty of potential. And the Bengals did too. And why do I say that? Well, their actions speak much louder than their words. They exercised the 5th-year option on Jonah Williams, which means he's set to make $12.6 million in 2023. This is not a contract year for him. And yet I look at him. He's 24 years old. And he's somebody that he'll be 25 in November. He's somebody that if you could lock him up now, could end up being a steal, could end up being a deal. And it's hard to find a stud left tackle in the NFL. And with the left tackle money that's going around, maybe you can get him extended through 2025 or 2026 on a reasonable deal and do it now. Instead of waiting, do it now. And that's the part where the Bengals, they're going to have to juggle because you're going to want to keep these pieces in place. You're going to want to keep a lot of these young players, this young core. And I think Jonah Williams is a part of that. You know, this roster only has 3 guys that are 30 years old or older on the team. Mike Thomas, the safety, and then they have Kevin Huber, Clark Harris. That's crazy, right? And so Jonah Williams is part of this young core. Do you want to go into next year as a contract year with the 5th-year option, given what left tackles are making? And they're making big, big money. And so maybe you do, and you want him to prove it, and you're okay with him going out proving it, and then you can extend him to a big money contract next offseason. Or maybe you try to get ahead of it, and you offer him money now that gives him security now. And yeah, he doesn't take as much as he would necessarily if he played great throughout the 2022 season, but he plays, he gets a reasonable amount. And that's the part of it that I think if you could juggle, it would make a lot of sense. The other guy is Germaine Pratt, and I think this one's more up in the air for a couple of reasons. Much harder to find a stud left tackle or even a quality starting left tackle versus a linebacker. Germaine Pratt is entering the final year of his contract. And yeah, he had that game-winning interception against the Raiders and was pretty damn good last year at times. But he's inconsistent. 91 tackles last year, which was a career high. Had an interception in the regular season. But you also want to pay Logan Wilson. And I think that's the thing. Are you going to pay 2 linebackers? Probably not. And maybe it's the right deal and he decides, hey, I'm going to stay in Cincinnati. And so that's why he's on this list. But ultimately, I think they wait and try to get a deal done with Logan Wilson after this season and maybe let Pratt potentially test free agency after the 2022 campaign. Not sure. Maybe not. Maybe I'm dead wrong on this. But they like Akeem Davis-Gaither. They like some of those other guys in that room, Marcus Bailey, etc. So to me, that could be the way they go there. But honestly, you look at this depth chart, and most of these guys have at least 2 years left. I think Chidobe Awuzie, if he plays well in 2022, we could be talking about an extension for him next offseason. DJ Reader, same thing. You know, if he plays great again and stays healthy and does what he did in 2021, why wouldn't you want to keep him around long term? But Trey Hendrickson under contract. Mike Hilton has 3 years left on his deal. You're not looking at that. Jessie Bates, certainly not. But, and this is the third guy, and this guy I actually think is pretty damn likely. It's Vonn Bell. And he might be the most likely of all of them. I saved the best for last. I'll explain why in just a second. But today's video brought to you by Rivertown Inkery and rivertowninkery.com. If you are looking for swag here that represents Cincinnati, and it could be, you know, Bengals gear, it could be cups, it could be shirts, it could be hoodies, it could be... They have the best apparel that you can get at rivertowninkery.com. It's something as simple as a Cincy shirt, or maybe you want the Tiger Lock striped tee that that Jake Lisco and I put together. Regardless, there's something for all of you at rivertowninkery.com. They're open 6 days a week in the heart of Oakley, about 10 minutes from Paul Brown Stadium, so you could visit them, or you could just go to rivertowninkery.com now. And Vonn Bell should go to rivertowninkery.com because I think he's going to be in Cincinnati for a while. Of all three of these, I think this is the one that gets done. This is the one where the Bengals are like, all right, veteran, 27 years old, leader, can play in a variety of spots. We have Dax Hill. Let's lock up Vonn Bell. And we'll have Jessie Bates for one more year. And this way it'll be Vonn Bell and Dax Hill and Tyson Anderson long-term at safety. And he's going to be a reasonable contract. He's not going to get huge money. So to me, makes a ton of sense for Vonn Bell to get it done. So if I had to rank these guys from an extension standpoint, spent the most time on Jonah Williams, I think he's second. In priority list, he might be number one. Will he be willing to take that deal? Will he bet on himself? Might bet on himself because he does have that $12.6 million coming to him regardless. So to me, Vonn Bell, Jonah Williams 2, Germaine Pratt 3. Outside of that, not many. You're not extending Tyler Boyd yet, can't extend T. Higgins yet. Joe Mixon has plenty of time left. I mean, all these guys are there. Drew Sample, not doing that. Hayden Hurst, 1 year deal. So there isn't anyone else that really stands out as extension candidates. But the three for me, outside of Jessie Bates, of course, which we've talked about a ton here on this channel, Vonn Bell, Jonah Williams, and Germaine Pratt. In that order, what about you? Is there someone I missed? Is there someone you want to see the Bengals extend that could be going into a contract year? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a ton coming your way, Bengals fans. I'm telling you, tell all of your friends that are Bengals fans to subscribe to the channel. And this is really the time where we start planning and really finish planning a lot of what we're going to do in 2022. And it's going to be big. I'm letting you know it's going to be big. So you might not get a video every day right now. You're still going to get plenty of videos, plenty of content. But we have a lot planned for the 2022 campaign. So for our channel coordinator, Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.